Okay, we're going to work on isolating variables, which is like finding x, sometimes they'll call it. Maybe I should put a subscript in here. Finding x. And x means the unknown variable. Okay, so what they've written is pretty straightforward. What is the value of x in the equation? Well, here's our x, and they want to know what it would equal. When they give you a multiple choice question, and this is kind of strictly in this scenario, if you have no idea how to do the algebra, you can always just take these values and plug each of them in until you end up at the right answer, assuming you can carry out the BEDMAS.
Yeah.
So if you're ever really stuck and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, just plug values in. And if you do this correctly, one of the answers will be 36, and whatever it was, that would be the right answer. But algebraically, to actually do this, so maybe there's a long answer question and they want to see your steps, this doesn't quite work for what a teacher's looking for. So if they didn't give us any choices and you got to find it, that's these algebra steps. So this deals with reverse BEDMAS is sometimes what it's called. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite it again here. This says 4 times in brackets 2, and that's 2 times x minus 1 is equal to the number 36. Okay, so we got a lot going on here. We want to isolate for the variable x. Okay, so we need to move things to the other side of the equation. What do we move first? Well, we'll write BEDMAS on the side here. And when they say reverse BEDMAS, what they mean is usually when we're carrying out the order of operations, that's what that's usually called, BEDMAS, order of operations, O-R-D, of operations. Reverse BEDMAS would be the opposite, where we'd come up this way, right? Now, it's not entirely true. You can kind of do things in a bit of a different order, but it does help you to organize, okay? So when we take a look at this, normally we would do brackets first. Well, here's our set of brackets. So this is what we would normally deal with first. That would be in the order of operations. In isolating or reverse BEDMAS, it'd be the last thing we deal with is the brackets. So instead of dealing with brackets, we're going to deal with what's outside first. Okay? So I know it's a poorly drawn 4. This is the number 4, negative 4. And when it's written like this, it means multiplication. Okay? Now there's a couple ways you can think of this. You either have whatever you do to one side, you do to the other, or when you bring something over, use the opposite operation. I'll kind of carry out both here. Negative 4 times, well, in order to eliminate it, we would divide. So we're going to use the opposite operation. So I would divide this side by negative 4, and I would divide this side by negative 4, which is very similar to, take this away for a sec, very similar to the concept of, because it's multiplication here, we divide it on the other side. They're actually the exact same thing, it's just they usually don't show both of them when a teacher goes through it. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. What happens on this slide, they actually create the number 1 and they multiply 1, does nothing. But again, they usually just say it cancels out. But there is a new operation or a new value on the right side. 36 divide negative 4 is negative 9. Okay? And you can use a calculator if you want to find that out. Just to prove that I know what I'm talking about.
It's a different value. I just did BEDMAS and then I got the exact same answer.
Yeah? You just plug them in.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's just a different way of doing it?
Well, the difference is normally in these questions, not normally, but in a lot of questions, you won't have options.
Yeah. And
then you're going to have to go through this route we're talking about here. And it's much faster. I'm just going into a lot of detail right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so because we've canceled out on the left side the negative 4s, we have 2x minus 1 equals negative 9. Okay, let's assume we're using reverse BEDMAS again. If we were doing order of operations, I would multiply first. That's what this is. But because we're doing reverse, we deal with the plus or minus, so the negative 1. Now, technically what we're doing is subtract, we're doing the opposite operation, so adding 1 to both sides. But the easiest way to think of this is think of it like you're moving negative 1 to the other side, and when you move it to the other side, it becomes
positive.
Yeah, it's exact, and that's the exact same thing we did above. Move negative 4 to the other side, we divide instead of multiply. Okay, so on the left side, all we're left with is 2x. And negative 9 plus 1 is actually negative 8. And there's only one operation left to do to isolate for x, because 2 is times x. To bring it to the other side, we divide by 2. Negative 8 divide 2, we're going to get a negative answer. X is equal to negative 4 in here. Okay. So I went into a lot of detail, but there's really 3 quick steps to actually solve this question here. Okay.